Hey everybody, it's Tasha from After the Snap, and I just wanted to jump in real quick, give you a quick trigger warning because this episode is dealing with Kanye West, and a lot of the drama surrounding around Kanye West has a lot of anti-Semitism. We're going to talk a little bit about child pornography and maybe pedophilia. If these are things that are a little heavy for you, I'm advising you to step away. Also, there's obviously a mental health component to this as well. So if any of these things are going to be triggering to you, step away, and I understand it. But if not, see you on the other side. Peace. Back to After the Snap. I'm Tasha Pierce, the blurred who needs to be heard, bringing more pop culture for the culture. And this thing today is wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. It's like the last third of 2022 just threw all the previous season's villains in the story and created this absolutely batshit final month. Just this week alone, we've seen the arch villain of the year, Kanye West, have incredible, I can't believe this ain't scripted encounters with Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Alex Jones, Tim Pool, Nick Fuentes, Milo Yiannopoulos, and for shits and giggles, Chris Paul. I almost don't know where to start. But then again, I do. There's a tweet for everything. Someone foreshadowed this day coming. Remember back in 2018 when Kanye declared slavery was a choice, but black folks couldn't get outraged enough to stop buying his ugly ass overpriced gear? Fun times. But anywho, a young but wise beyond his years comedian named Zach Fox sent out a prophetic tweet. On September 30th of 2018, he sent a warning to his followers that read, "Highly recommend getting off the Kanye train before it inevitably reaches the Hitler was a good guy stop." What? What? Are we there yet? So I guess y'all already know where this thing is going, but stay with, because the getting there is outrageous. Now, even though Kanye's been problematic for pretty much the entire year, this chapter in the saga starts with Elon Musk. When Elon took the reins of Twitter, he began to shake things up almost immediately. He was to be the arbiter of free speech, unless, of course, you said something critical of him or made him the butt of your jokes, but that's another story for another day. Kanye had to immediately test the waters, going on an unhinged rant about Jewish people. Y'all remember the DEFCON 3 tweet? That one got his account suspended, but reinstated on November 21st. Now, in between, he was still out there doubling down on his anti-Semitism and watching his empire burn. Now, things got crazier when 2 days before Thanksgiving, Kanye called his homie Trump, Donald Trump, Sr., and suggested they meet for a meal at Mar-a-Lago. Now, the Don was like, "Sure, but whatever you do, don't bring any other anti-Semites or Holocaust deniers with you. Our quota is full." Nah, he said no such thing because he has no problem with a lot of racists. There are very fine people on both sides. Needless to say, Kanye came with the whole gaggle of racists, but as long as they were fawning over Trump, he didn't care to find out who these racists were. Now, just to punctuate how absolutely crazy this is, Kanye West and his entourage of racists were able to meet with a former president with a whole friggin' security detail of Secret Service agents, without said former president's group knowing who was in this entourage. Now, add to that, this former president was recently in possession of sensitive documents, and if you believe most people or some people, he is still in possession of some sensitive documents. So if Kanye could bring Nick Fuentes and 2 or 3 other people to the residence of the former president with no vetting, imagine what a real spy could do. Just hope that makes you feel real good and secure moving into 2023. Anywho, shit hit the fan at that dinner when Kanye invited Trump to be his vice presidential running mate in 2024. Now, Trump, with a bruised ego, got to insulted Kim Kardashian, who was somewhere minding her own business when her name got dragged into this mess. Spoiler alert, it's not the last time her name gets dragged into this mess. Okay, but then the party was effing over once Trump got his ego bruised. So, it's obvious that the whole affair was set up to make Trump look like a bigger idiot than he usually does. These photos of him consorting with Kanye West at the height of his exploits and Nick Fuentes have emboldened conservative lawmakers to denounce him. Now, we've been expecting this denouncement for years, literally the better part of half a decade or more, but we're just now getting it when he starts to hang out with Kanye West, Nick Fuentes, Milo Yiannopoulos, and other racists. Anywho, specifically Mike Pence. Trump wanted Mike Pence to be executed during the January 6th riots, and Mike Pence didn't denounce him then. But now he's coming out and he's talking all tough. But Senator Mitt Romney, that Republican out of Utah, he was the one that really, his denouncement was funny to me. Senator Mitt Romney compared Trump to a gargoyle that can scare voters away from the Republican Party. And he called the dinner Trump hosted a disgusting affair. Now look, he said that he's a gargoyle. It would have just been more special if it would have happened in October. Like towards the end of the month, leading into Thanksgiving, all of this would have been like a freaking fever dream in Republican nightmares. And I'm not shitting on Republicans. Y'all know I don't care one way or the other. You're both street gangs. Democrat, Republican, you just pick the best person and pray for the best. But anywho, Kanye poured the gas and handed Trump the match. Some people just want to watch the world burn. And while Trump's world was burning over here, we go into this alternate reality. Because after that episode, podcaster Tim Pool invited Kanye as a guest on his podcast, the Timcast in real life. Now, honestly, I didn't know much about Tim until I started looking into what other people were saying his reputation in the podcast space is. And he's just a conservative, he's a right-wing pundit, and he does have some controversial beliefs. Anti-Semitism don't seem to be one of them. Okay, so I think Tim Pool was only trying to strike while the iron was hot. So even though Kanye is a bag of freaking cats, he knows having him on the show would pull in huge numbers. He may have even been foolish enough to believe that he could steer the conversation. But what he got was peak narcissistic Kanye. Tim couldn't not push back when Kanye started with his anti-Semitism. And Kanye got pissed because without Adidas and the Gap and Balenciaga, anti-Semitism is his brand. So he must have felt like he was invited on this big platform, but not allowed to hawk his shit. So like the overgrown toddler he is, he threw a hissy and stormed out of the studio. Now that was November 28th, but it really seems like months ago. It really seems like many months have passed. Fast forward to December 1st. Kanye and crew are continuing on their racist world tour. Next up, InfoWars. So Alex Jones enters the chat. Now usually Alex is a big old piece of shit, but surprise, he might be playing the anti-hero this episode because he is clearly not comfortable giving Ye this platform. Now, Alex, like Tim, is only trying to capitalize on Kanye's BS. People are tuning in just to watch the train wreck. What Alex might not have counted on is Kanye finishing the interview. He was called out a few times on anti-Semitic remarks, and I really believe Alex was hoping that Kanye would get mad and leave. But Kanye once again doubled down on his foolishness. Alex did get instantly rewarded, however, when Kanye allowed him to send a tweet from his account. So, not just Alex Jones sent a tweet from Kanye West's open account. Several other suspended people were in the room and they too sent tweets from Kanye West's open account. So shit just is getting wild in real playground with this shit. Before I upload this, I'm gonna have a real stiff drink and attempt to listen to the entire InfoWars episode. I've seen clips, however, and it is off the chain. Now I bet you thought, wow, Kanye and Alex Jones, that's where shit stops. I guess that's the end. Nope. There are the December 1st tweets. It started, as far as I can tell, with Kanye posting a photo of a Star of David that appears to have a swastika at the center. I say appears because that symbol is one of two used by a UFO cult called the Raelians. And if you ask them, they would probably insist this symbol has another meaning. Regardless, Kanye knew what he was implying when he posted it. He, once again, is stoking the fire. He is enjoying the attention that he's getting by playing into the anti-Semitism. So this brings us back to Elon. Apparently, he contacted Ye and told him, hey, swastika thing is way too much. And they quoted scripture at each other because both of them claim to be so scriptural, biblical, biblical. And Kanye posted a very unflattering picture of Elon. And then Chris Paul somehow got pulled into this when Kanye said Chris Paul banged Kim Kardashian. And then Elon suspended him. I told you Kim would show back up. So that kind of wraps up this past few days of Kanye West activity, except for I haven't checked to even see what he's gotten into as I'm recording. But like even the side characters in this Kanye West drama, they getting pulled and mud is getting slung all over them. Over the last week or so, we've been hearing about Balenciaga and these crazy ads that they had been putting out with what could only be described as material that is in support of child trafficking and or pedophilia. Now, they are saying, oh, that wasn't us. The photographer put this stuff out there. The photographer wanted to do this. How many times does a photographer come on a set and control every aspect of a set? I think the photographer is working with what is given to them, right? But okay, so all they're there for is to take pictures, especially when you're talking about a brand as large as Balenciaga. I mean, you think about it. How many weddings have you been to where the photographer could just take some pictures and that's it? We're not going to look over these pictures. We're not going to tell the photographer exactly what it is that we want to be captured in these pictures. Or even worse, what if the wedding photographer comes and throws buckets of freaking animal blood all over the bride and the guests because they're trying to get a special shot? This is what I mean when I'm saying these photographers are not in control of everything. They might have a signature style, a signature way of lighting something, but they are not telling the people who are paying for the shoot what they can do or what they should do in a shot. So I'm going to share a little bit more information about Balenciaga and those crazy ads from The Cut. Earlier this month, Balenciaga dropped its holiday ad campaign featuring children holding teddy bears in bondage harnesses and costumes. The BDSM accessories were also on the runway at Balenciaga's show at Paris Fashion Week. So the fact that this bondage, this BDSM stuff was already part of the ad tells me that this was not something that the photographer decided he was going to use. Anywho, the backlash against the images has been swift, with the hashtag Cancel Balenciaga trending across Twitter and TikTok, and many accusing the brand and its creative director, Demna, of condoning pedophilia and child exploitation. In a separate ad that dropped on November 21st promoting Balenciaga's Spring-Summer 2023 collection, a bag from the fashion house's collaboration with Adidas. Remember, that's another Kanye West former ally. A bag from the fashion house's collaboration with Adidas was photographed atop copies of what appeared to be documents from the Supreme Court case, the U.S. versus Williams, a ruling that upheld the PROTECT Act, which increased federal protections against child pornography. Now, both campaigns quickly became a conservative talking point and sparked many conspiracy theories. Okay, so y'all know that there are a trillion conspiracy theories concerning child trafficking and pedophilia and the abuse of minor children. We know that there are so many conspiracy theories surrounding that, but we also know that this is not something that's made up. These are real problems. It might not be groups of vampire pedophiles drinking the blood of children, but child trafficking and pedophilia is an issue, a very serious one. These two big companies, Balenciaga and Adidas, especially given the Kanye West connection, are ticking all the right buttons for hardcore conspiracy theorists, people on par with the QAnon cult. So I'm not talking about just them. There are other groups of people who have beliefs similar or stronger than what QAnon has about the fact that the entertainment industry and the fashion industry, in fact, anybody who's successful in any way, shape, or form, had to make some type of deal with the devil. And just having these types of ads show up is going to lend credence to those beliefs. So back to this article. On November 22nd, the fashion house issued 2 statements via its Instagram stories apologizing for the plush bears, which they said should not have been featured with children in this campaign, as well as the unsettling documents in the separate Spring-Summer campaign. We take this matter very seriously and are taking legal action against the parties responsible for creating the set and including unapproved items for our Spring 23 campaign photo shoot. Hello guys, this is Editing Tasha, and I'm coming back because there is a correction on that Balenciaga lawsuit. Balenciaga tossed its lawsuit out against the marketing agency that they were blaming for that controversial photo shoot. So now they say they're just going to donate money and focus on organizations that benefit children. That's weird to me too, but they have tossed out the lawsuit. So we're going to continue with the episode that I had recorded before I found this out. We strongly condemn abuse of children in any form. We stand for children's safety and well-being. So you're telling me that even though this photo shoot was done, this is just me playing devil's advocate saying, okay, what Balenciaga is saying is true. After this photo shoot was done, there was no one who looked over the photos and approved them to be used as part of the ad. You telling me that this went from the photographer to press with nothing in between? Y'all think people crazy. Y'all think people stupid. And this is what makes people think that y'all demonic and y'all do all this satanic worship with children, because y'all think we stupid. Meanwhile, Gabriel Galimberti, the photographer behind the holiday campaign, released a statement distancing himself from the imagery. I am not in a position to comment on Balenciaga's choices, but I must stress that I was not entitled in whatsoever manner to neither choose the products, nor the models, nor the combination of the same. As a photographer, I was only and solely requested to lit the given scene, take the shots according to my signature style. Now, in recent days, right-wing conspiracy theorists latched onto and circulated photos taken out of context from the Instagram account of stylist Lada Volkova that portrayed scenes of violence and satanic images. According to a representative, Volkova hasn't worked with Balenciaga since 2017. That's not a protection to me, because 2017 was 5 years ago, right? That's not that long ago that you guys had a violent satanic type person working for you. Now, I know the ideals of either party can change over the course of 5 years. This Lada Volkova, she could have went off the deep end and started believing in satanic worship and such. And Balenciaga could have said, oh no, we no longer believe in satanic worship. But the bottom line is, at some point, you all had a relationship. So to say, oh, these photos were taken out of context, she hasn't worked here in 5 years, is not saying these photos were taken out of context. This is part of the reason why we stopped effing with Lada Volkova. And then, just to bring Kim Kardashian back into this, going back to the article from The Cut, Kim Kardashian, a vocal supporter of the brand, who previously starred in her own campaign for it, and recently included a cameo from Balenciaga's creative director, Demna, on her Hulu show, The Kardashians. Kim issued a statement on Instagram and Twitter saying, "I have been quiet for the past few days, not because I haven't been disgusted and outraged by the recent Balenciaga campaigns." Her statement went on to say she is currently reevaluating her future relationship with the brand, basing it off of their willingness to accept accountability for something that should have never happened to begin with. Now, there are a lot of people who are very satisfied with that statement, but what Kim said and what she did not say speaks volumes. She said that she is going to reevaluate her future relationship with the brand. She didn't say, "I am discontinuing any relationship with the brand." And is there any other side to be on? Now, this is where you have to agree with the Q-nuts. Is there any other side to be on than against child pornography and against pedophilia and against sexualizing children? There's only one side of the argument to be on there, and that is completely against it. And if a company thought it was fine, because I don't give a shit how they try to frame this, that photographer took some pictures and photographer may have brought all that crap onto the set with them. But once they saw the photos, they did not have to run with these pictures. Once this company said it was okay to put these pictures out, that is your cue to say, I'm out of here. I can't deal with it. I cannot work with you because you are in support of something that is incomprehensible. And then another extra from the Kanye show, Julia Fox. Julia Fox made her own series of statements on TikTok. "I have zero relationship with the brand. I've never even been to one of their shows. They haven't invited me. Regardless, I think it's horrific, and when I was reading and watching all the videos, I literally felt sick to my stomach." She went on to say that this was not a problem of Hollywood or the fashion industry, but an issue with men. But just the fact that all this controversy is swirling around a bunch of people who are peripherally related to Kanye West is lending an air of mystique to this outrageous behavior that he's been displaying over the last few months. You know, there are some people who are critiquing every move that Kanye makes and is saying that he is trying to leave clues. Again, it's taking on this whole QAnon identity, and it is scary because Kanye is saying a whole lot of inflammatory things. And if you get people who get indoctrinated into looking for messages in each one of his statements, they get indoctrinated enough into trying to find meaning behind the things that he says, they are capable or likely to do anything in Kanye West's name. Okay, so on November 25th, Balenciaga filed a $25 million lawsuit against North 6 for this controversial campaign image featuring the court documents. Now, that was separate from the thing with the teddy bear. The suit claims that the defendants included the Williams documents without Balenciaga's knowledge or authorization, and goes on to say that as a result of defendants' misconduct, members of the public, including the news media, have falsely and horrifically associated Balenciaga with the repulsive and deeply disturbing subject of the court decision. Now, I think we can all agree that the inclusion of those documents was a very deliberate attempt to associate this shoot with child pornography and or pedophilia. So that wasn't an accident. That was a choice. I can look at that either as somebody putting that there to bring awareness to what's going on the Balenciaga shoots, or as Balenciaga sending a wink and a nod to some depraved part of their audience. Now, I'm in agreement with a lot of other opinions that Balenciaga is trying to separate themselves from these photos in this campaign as much as they can, even though it is their campaign. They're trying to use any and everybody as a scapegoat for what they have allowed on their watch. And Balenciaga posted a lengthy Instagram post that said our plush bear bags and the gift collection should not have been featured with children. This was a wrong choice by Balenciaga, combined with our failure in assessing and validating images. The responsibility for this lies with Balenciaga alone. No shit, Balenciaga. And people are using this ad campaign by Balenciaga with his collaboration with Adidas to give credibility to Kanye. See, Kanye is trying to explain something to us. He's trying to warn us about something. Was Kanye trying to warn you when he was building an empire off of his partnerships with these brands, Balenciaga, Adidas, The Gap? He had relationships himself with these brands. So is Kanye himself part of the problem? And then we go on to hear about his behavior when he was working over at Adidas and how many people said that Kanye's behavior was erratic even there. He shared pornographic images of people, including his wife, in sexual situations, that he would routinely yell at people and throw things. We're just now hearing about this stuff. Kanye built a billion-dollar empire off of Adidas. So why are we just now hearing about this stuff? So see, when we get stuff like that happening, when these types of things all occur, one after the other like dominoes falling, you start to lend credibility to these conspiracy theories. And I like a good conspiracy theory. I'm not above thinking that there might be something more to things than what is on the surface. We're just looking at the tip of the iceberg. We don't know how much stuff is underneath that built up to get us to that tip. So I'm not above overthinking and over-rationalizing certain situations. And I can't even say that I'm above the fact that there was a time where I felt like, man, the entertainment industry is shady, shady, shady. And I still believe the entertainment industry can be shady, shady, shady. Do I believe Kanye West is the question? And no, I don't. I believe Kanye West, if he had inside information, he's only disseminating any inside information that he has right now because he is outside now. He's on the outside looking in. He's now sitting, basically tearing down people as a means to build himself up. And this all could have been avoided years ago if the black community, and yes, I'm pointing at us for the culture, if the black community would have rallied amongst ourselves and said, hey, what you said, Kanye, wasn't cool, we got to punish you. And by punishing Kanye, the biggest punishment that you can give to a person like Kanye is to not pay attention to them, to hit them in their pockets. That's what needed to happen with Kanye West. It did not. That's on us, y'all. That's on us. If we weren't prepared to issue tough love. But the Jewish community say, oh, we're going to show you how it's done. Now, everybody's saying, oh, when he said that about the black folks, nobody was mad because we weren't mad. We should have gotten upset. We should have gotten outraged. And we should have thrown the might of our purchasing power behind our outrage. But instead, we made excuses for Kanye because Kanye looks like us. It's his mom passing. That's what did it. No, I honestly believe that this is who Kanye is. Does Kanye have mental health issues? Possibly. So do I. But if I went around and said some of the things that Kanye West has been saying here lately, the consequences to my actions would have come around far more swiftly than it has for Kanye. I do believe that Kanye's mother was his moral compass. And the fact that she's gone now, it tells us that he doesn't have a moral compass anymore. He doesn't have anybody who could tell him to dial it down and that he would respect and listen to. Kanye has been showing us who he is for the better part of a decade at the absolute least. And we just didn't believe him. And then we have, going back to Elon Musk, reinstating Kanye's Twitter account after his first DEFCON 3 tweet. And Elon said, hey, I'm going to reinstate his account. But at that point in the game, Kanye had already shown who he was. So this was another, I think, case of people trying to capitalize off of Kanye's erratic behavior. I'm not saying I feel sorry for this man, because I don't. It's hard to feel sorry for somebody who has $400 some odd million and has led the life and has had the opportunities that he has and has got the talent that he has. He is a very talented individual. But then we start to conflate talent with genius. It's the same way I feel about Elon. For a long time, before I got to, see so much of Elon Musk, because now on Twitter, there's a lot of Elon Musk. When there was still an air of mystery around Elon Musk, I thought Elon Musk was a genius. And now I'm wondering if he's just somebody who just was born with that silver spoon in his mouth and didn't let it fall out. He figured out a way to continue to capitalize on the head start that he had in life, kind of like Donald Trump. In fact, we can just keep going with all the people in Kanye's orbit. Now, I don't know about Nick Fuentes. I know he's a piece of garbage. He's a Holocaust denier, and he's a racist. He's a big-time racist. I don't know a lot about Milo Yiannopoulos, except for he's a piece of trash. But when I look at Alex Jones, silver spoon in his mouth, got a head start from his family, and imploded. Then we have Elon Musk, had silver spoon, got a head start. He made something of it. Donald Trump had a silver spoon, made something of himself, is starting to implode. Before you come for me, I could come, with a whole lot of Donald Trump stories, but I'm keeping it really short when I give his description of his life. Silver spoon, make something of himself, and now we're seeing an implosion because now I think consequences are coming for those actions. He's fucking around, and he is in now the find out stage of the fucking around of life. Fucked around for a long time. Now you're about to find out. See, I don't have much else to say about Kanye. I just had to touch on this because it is the big story pop culturally for the culture. It is the big story of this weekend, and this weekend is Friday, man. It's not like this is Sunday. Gosh. So let me know what you guys think about the ongoing Kanye saga and all of that stuff that's going on around it. Is it like, this is really like a poorly written script for a B movie, and we are living it. This feels like the sequel to 2020. This is not normal. Every month, every week, something else outrageous is going on. In fact, while all the Kanye West stuff is going on, Antonio Brown, former football player, Tampa Bay and other teams, Antonio Brown was in a standoff with the police for hours, and I'm not even sure if the standoff is over because I've been recording this. Anything could have happened in between the time that I've been recording this and Antonio Brown, whatever went on with him and the police. That wasn't even a big story. He's in a standoff, and I'm not saying that he's out there waving guns around and that sort of thing, but they want him to come out, and he won't. And they're saying that there are guns in the home where he is huddled up, and they just want to serve him a warrant for some type of domestic violence accusation, but he is having a standoff with police. Maybe that'll be another episode. I could do an episode damn near every day with the foolishness that's been going on. So you guys tell me, what is the big thing? What stands out the most to you with this Kanye West story? How do you feel about the conspiracy theories? Are you for or against what people are saying that Kanye's behavior is representing? I'd like to hear it. There are 1,003,000,000,000 different ways to reach me down in the description box of this podcast. Use them. Or there's like a link at the end. If you're watching or listening on Spotify, if you're listening on Spotify, there is a question that says, what do you think of this episode? Let me know what you think, y'all. I'm waiting to hear from you. There are also ways that you can support the show, and I'm going to leave you to look at all of that. That's all down in the description box. We got Patreon, Coffee. We've got becoming a subscriber, leaving me tips here and there. I would love to have you as part of the team. Anywho, it's been a wonderful time talking. Even though the subject matter is effed up. Told you it was wild. And I ain't even touched on the Chris Paul stuff. You notice how we just glossed over the fact that he said Chris Paul banged Kim Kardashian. Lord, fun times. So, see you guys in the next one. Thanks for being with me. Peace.